Let's think of a product. Let's say there's a product made by Procter Gamble, or let's say there's a product like Dell computers, laptops, systems. When we look at these products, do you think just because it is being made by Samsung, just because they are by Procter and Gamble, they are by Unilever, it makes them impactful? No. If the product itself, let's say the laptop itself or any other consumer product itself, is not trying to justify or is not as authentic as it is claimed to be, it will not be able to survive in the market for long and will not be able to make or hold a place in the market, irrespective of it is by an organization which is an organization of reply. So if you do not create that USP of that brand for yourself, you may not be able to hold a place and fulfill your dream. Thus, it becomes very important to have a special place for my brand. And how do I build that brand? You know, this comes in mind with the simple statement of Hal Elrod, who said, remember the moment you accept total responsibility for everything in your life. And it is the moment when you claim the power to change anything in your life. The moment I say, hey, I can build my brand through me. Hey, I am empowered to build my brand. That moment, I tell the world that wait and watch. I'm going to create a space for myself. But to build that brand and to be empowered to build that brand, I must have enough sufficient knowledge about who am I, what kind of identity I want to establish, what kind of visibility I want to gain, what positioning I want to establish so that people start recognizing me and I'm able to catch attention of, let's say, the organizations, people who are going to recruit, or it could be anything. Not only for the recruitment purpose you need to build your brand, but in order to have identity in the society, in order to have identity in your personal and professional life, you need to build brand. But for building authentic and honest and truthful brand, I need to dig deeper into myself. I cannot say, hey, I position myself as great leader, but I myself do not hold those qualities. Then for how long will I be able to justify? I mean, just for a few months, just for a few years, and then automatically my actions and my results will speak that I do not stand for the positioning that I have claimed. So it is better to understand, realize, and reflect upon that what do I stand for, so that I can position myself and brand myself for what I stand for. And then it's going to be honest, it's going to be truthful, it's going to be justifiable. And every time someone asks me, I will be able to say that, hey, I have positioned myself for this and I stand for this. There will be no if and buts in that. And that is why it becomes important for us to have self-awareness, to have understanding of not only self-awareness, but entire self, to claim that, look, word, I am this and I stand for this. Personal branding is not just about promoting ourselves, but it's also about being authentic and loyal and truthful to ourselves. So this human being is a mysterious entity, let me tell you. We might have dig deeper into it, but there is still a lot to dig deeper. Many times we think we are A, but we tend to be B. And many times we think we are not B and we tend to be B. So many times, and majority of the time, if we haven't given sufficient time to reflect upon, to do introspection into ourselves and dig deeper, we may have incorrect understanding of our own personality. And human beings have a tendency to spend less time on analyzing ourselves, but more time on analyzing others. SWOT, I'm sure all of us must have worked on it. But majority of us work on it only till strength and weakness. The opportunity and threats are something that we tend to ignore. Now let's talk about strengths. Now, how do I, what am I going to do with strength and my brand building? Well, you need to find out what are the areas of interest that are there And what are the areas of interest that are already developed in you? Certain areas, certain skill sets are God gifted, and you're really good in those areas. If there are, let's say, there are 10 skill sets that you really are good at, find out of those 10 skill set, which are the 2 or 3 skill set that I can work on throughout my life. And they are my real passion. Those are the areas which kick me when I really think about them. And they'll keep me motivated throughout my life, throughout my future, throughout my career. Based on those 2 3 areas, I need to decide on how I need to brand myself and in which area I need to position myself. If you only find out your strengths but do not filter it out based on which are those strengths which will keep me motivated throughout my life, probably down the line there will be a time you'll be stuck and you're thinking, oh my god, I'm bored of this profession, I'm bored of this job role that I'm doing, and I don't want to work on it. And then you keep on thinking what else I can do. So you've already wasted few years of your life, and then this if this step is taken, that even before beginning your career, you decide on which are those 2 3 areas which can keep me motivated throughout my future, throughout my career, and you begin with that, you will be far faster than the rest of the people in your career ladder. And that is why you need to find out those strengths, decide on what are those 2 3 areas which are which I'm so passionate about. I can give my life to those areas. Now, once you've thought about them, what to do then? Think of, based on those 2 3 areas, what kind of opportunities I can have in life, what kind of job roles I can hold, what kind of industries I can work on. Now, that is not sufficient. You've done your strength analysis, you've done your opportunity analysis. Now you need to think that, okay, I have identified this opportunity I want to work on. Let's say I'm very good in digitalization, I mean, digital aspect, and I see that, digital aspect and digital jobs related to digitalization are very, very popular these days. Now I need to look at that I may be only good in one aspect that needs to be a good digital professional. What are the other skill set that I need to develop to be a ready-made package to have the opportunity to grasp the opportunity when it knocks my door? And if I have not developed on all those sub skill set also, which are going to support my career in that digital area, then probably when the opportunity comes up and I am like, oh my God, I'm so good in it. All my classmates used to say that, you should go in this area because you're so good in it. And I am like, my God, I'm like a cat looking in the mirror and thinking that I am already doing such a great job in this area. Any company comes up, I'm going to be selected for this job. But when the company comes up and tests you and interviews you, then you realize I just have 1 or 2 skill set that was required for this opportunity. But I did not focus on the rest of the skill sets, which was supportive skill set to grasp this opportunity. And this opportunity goes to your neighbor and you keep on cribbing. That is why you have to now look at the SWOT analysis in this aspect. I will identify the strengths which are my passion. I will look at the opportunity which I can encash through my those passionate strengths. And I will also look at what are the additional strengths and the skill set that I need to develop so that I become a complete holistic package for this opportunity. And when this knocks, I'm the first one to grab it. Many times we take our weaknesses very lightly, and we think that's okay, I'm going to take this opportunity even if this requires me to be very different than the weakness that I have. It's okay, I will be able to handle it. But when you take up that opportunity, you enter into a real world and you have that particular weakness which is an hindrance for that opportunity, you realize that you have done a bigger threat to your future than any benefit to your future. So once you realize and recognize these weaknesses and you see they are clashing with your opportunity, then look at, will that weakness create a big, big threat? When I say threat, it means something very fatal. Will this weakness of mine which is clashing with the requirement of my opportunity, is it going to create a big threat? And if it is going to create a big threat, then again it is time for me to go back and reanalyze my strength and find something else that has a bigger desire, look at the opportunity and see that there are no weaknesses that are clashing with this opportunity which can give me a big threat. Otherwise, it's like digging deeper, going into a mess, and then thinking, oh my God, how to come out. By that time, you would have lost so much of time, so much of energy, and rest of your friends, rest of your college mates would have gone far. And then you'll sit in depression. So why not do this thorough analysis of branding yourself, positioning yourself based on all these parameters, and then start working on it rather than working with half information, half working, and then realizing that it's not something that you wanted to go for. Emotional intelligence revolves around two personalities, but majority of us understand it that the bigger role is around me. But emotional intelligence stands for understanding, recognizing my emotions, taking control of my emotions, and at the same time, I should have the ability, the expertise to recognize the other person's emotion and help that person to control his emotion. I'm not saying control his emotion, but only support and help that person to control his emotion. If I acquire these two skill set, these two combined skill set, I will be very high in my emotional intelligence. And then I can look at also that, what kind of opportunity I'm looking at. Does this job role require me to deal with multiple people? That means I'm going to undergo multiple kind of emotional situations and scenario, because it requires me to deal with multiple people, and that means it requires me to be on the higher end of emotional intelligence, and I have to work on it and build on it. So 80% of the adult success comes from emotional intelligence. This is said by a very famous personality who's known for establishing the aspect of emotional intelligence in this world, in this society. There are 4 components you need to work on. You need to analyze and assess to find out if you are actually stable and at towards the higher end on your emotional intelligence scale, and assess yourself, create an awareness about your emotional intelligence level. And they are about self-awareness. That means recognizing your emotion. Now, having said that, I'm sure majority of you will think, come on, ma'am, we all know how to assess our emotions. Yes, I know you know to assess your emotions, but let me tell you, all of us, when I say all of us, I'm saying 99.99% of us will have the knowledge of very limited number of emotions. But there are far more emotions existing. And there's very thin line of difference between those emotions. So happy, joyful, euphoric, all these are different emotions with different level of happiness and different reason of happiness. But we at times may say, hey, I'm very happy. Today I got my first job. I'm very happy. You may be in a euphoric feeling. You may be in some other feeling, or something has happened which you were not expecting. So whether you are in surprise or you are in shock, so all these emotions are very different, and all these emotions need to be handled differently. And that is why I said you have to first start recognizing your emotions, become aware of yourself, what kind of emotions you generally face in particular situation. Then think of what remedy I can have to deal with those emotions. Now, this is your portion, one character that you are dealing with. But then this is the second character. Let's say there was a meeting. Let's say you're working in an organization. There was a meeting. A person in the meeting was very rude to you, very harsh to you, was in argument all the time, not agreeing to it, even if you're saying logical things. What you do first, you recognize your own emotion. Am I getting angry? Am I getting irritated? Then there, you take control of that emotion. And then you leave it at that point, thinking that this person might be in some emotional state which is making him say so, rather than start fighting from your end also. So you become social aware of other person's emotion, And then is relationship management. You leave that person at that moment, but probably in the evening, next day, you go to that person and you ask that person, is there anything that's troubling you? I saw you were very, very upset in the meeting. There was something that was disturbing you. And then you help that person to overcome. If the person allows you to enter into his emotion zone, then you help that person, and that is how you become emotionally intelligent. So where are you standing in these four? Are you still at this? Are you good at this now? Are you good at this? Have you also acquired the skill set to be socially aware, and are you able to manage that? You'll be able to assess your emotional intelligence based on that, and you'll be able to rate yourself on that scale. And the third one is locus of control. Locus means center point. So there can be two type of people. One who think that everything that happens in life is because of me. People with internal locus of control. And there are other people who think anything that happens in life is because of others. I am working in an organization. I don't get promotion. My boss is very biased. My organization, my college has never given me opportunity to learn from best professors, and that is why I could not learn. That is external locus of control people. They think whatever is happening in their life, especially the wrong things, the negative things, are because of others. On the contrary, there are internal locus of people who think that I'm sure my college has provided me with best of best guest speakers and lectures. Probably, maybe I was not focusing, or my mind was lost, or probably I was absent, and that is why I could not gain knowledge in that particular area. And next time I need to be more careful. You have to become internal locus of control person in order to be successful in life. So when you're branding yourself, when you're finding out at the opportunity, you have to look at, is this job role requiring me to be an internal locus? So as such, the demand says to be an internal locus of control person. But then when you're looking at these opportunities, this job role require me to be independent dealer, to be an independent decision maker. How do I work in these areas? Does it require me to be a person with internal locus of control? And if yes, then I will either have to develop it, or I will have to reposition myself and look at some other opportunity. But I would always suggest that if this is a contradiction to your opportunity, don't change your opportunity. In fact, change yourself. Become a person with internal locus of control, wherein you say anything that's happening in my life. And what is the advantage? The advantage is, if I say I am internal locus of control person, I can change myself. I'm saying the power is in my hand. No one else is controlling me. And then I have the desire, I will change. But the moment I become an external locus of control person, that means I don't have the right. Even if I want to change myself, I have to seek and beg and take permission from other people. So become a person with internal locus of control, and your branding and your positioning itself will highlight when you appear for your interviews, when you talk about your objectives in your profile, when you talk about your tagline in your profile, will itself highlight whether you are an internal locus of control person or external. And the last one stands for develop fabulous habit. Assess your habits. Now, these are 6 fabulous habits that I suggest people to assess themselves on or to work on. And these habits are derived from the book 6 Miraculous Habits by Hal Elrod. He is a great motivational speaker, author, and who himself has faced setbacks in life. And based on his own experience, he said, these are the 6 habits that help me to come back from a setback and see miracle happening in my life. And if you work on these areas, probably you'll be able to have miraculous opportunities coming your way, and you will be more powerful when you're branding and positioning yourself. What do they stand for? So S stands for silence. When you get up in the morning, they say, make it a habit, sit on the bed for 2 minutes. And what we do? Searching for my mobile phone. My eyes are closed and I'm searching for my mobile phone. So get away from that habit. Sit for 2 minutes in silence. Once you have sat in silence, then say one positive affirmation about yourself, one positive statement about yourself. I am going to make this the best day. I am going to be the controller of my destiny. I am already so good. but I'm going to try to be great. So give one affirmation to yourself, positive affirmation, thought process to yourself every day. And whatever thought process you have given, visualize that. When you say, hey, I'm going to give the best presentation today, it's my presentation day, it's going to be awesome, visualize that you've given the presentation and people are clapping. So build that visual image in the morning in your mind. So calm mind with silence, positive thought process with affirmation, positive picturization with visualization, and then go for 5-10 minutes of exercise, yoga, mindfulness exercise, anything, walking you can do, and then do little bit of one page reading. What you're doing is you're energizing your so that when you go out to work, actually your mind, your body, everything is in right state. Read one page of any book, not the newspaper, because newspaper are full of where the murder has happened, what theft has happened. So don't read the newspaper. Choose a book, read 1 or 2 pages of that book, and the last is scribbling. Just take a notebook, a copy, and a diary, and write anything that comes to your mind. Maybe what you've read, you can write. Maybe stand in your balcony, look at the scenic beauty, and say, "Wow, such beautiful! I can hear birds chirping. I can see sunlight coming." Write something positive. If you follow these 6 habits, they are going to make yourself very, very powerful, and you will be able to do rest of your self analysis, your self reflection, build on your emotional intelligence, and have internal locus of control through these 6 habits, and they are going to make you powerful. Thank you so much. It was wonderful to be part of it.